If you're thinking about expanding your PlayStation game collection, getting your hands on the best SSD for PS5 should be a top priority. Although the PS5 Slim that released back in November last year offers slightly more storage than the original launch version of the console, most current PS5 owners still only have an allowance of about 660 GB of internal space to work with. With the installation sizes of many top games like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, and Horizon Forbidden West coming in at well over 100 GB, your internal storage can fill up pretty fast, no matter which version of the console you own. Fitting your PS5 with a compatible SSD only takes a couple of minutes and can dramatically increase your storage capacity, letting you keep a larger library of games installed on the console at the same time. As there are lots of options on the market right now, we have tested a wide range of SSD models and carefully compiled this helpful list in order to outline all of the best choices for your individual needs or budget. We carefully evaluated the performance of each drive with a selection of top PS5 titles in order to directly compare them. We also considered a range of external factors, including the build quality and overall value for money offered by each drive. We have listed the top 5 best SSD for PS5 2024, and their key features. You need to consider this to help you choose the best one for you. For more information on the product, as always, I've included a link in the description box down below, which are updated with the best prices on each product. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. Now let's get started. Number 5. Kingston Fury Renegade SSD. The Kingston Fury Renegade SSD starts at $84.99 for the 500GB version, $226.99 for 2TB as tested, offers solid performance and good value for a PCI Express 4.0 NVMe gaming-centric solid-state drive. Although it didn't crack the top tier among the elite speedsters we compared it with, the Fury Renegade turned in respectable scores in both our gaming and general storage benchmarks. Our review unit comes with a heatsink, though you can get it without one for $5 less. It comes in capacities up to 4 TB, although the 1 TB and 2 TB versions are the most cost-effective per gigabyte, offering excellent value compared with some slightly more capable gaming SSDs like the SK Hynix Platinum P41. The Fury Renegade is built on an M2 Type 2280, 80mm long gumstick printed circuit board and uses the NVMe 1.4 protocol over the PCIe 4.0 bus. It combines Micron 176-layer TLC NAND D-flash memory with the Phison E18 controller that we've seen on many high-performance PCI Express 4 drives. Unfamiliar with M2 and PCIe jargon? Check out our guide to SSD terminology. The Fury Renegade SSD that we tested comes with a full heatsink, with list prices for the different capacities given in the table below. The standard version of the drive, equipped with a graphite aluminum heat spreader, sells for about $5 less for a given capacity. With a height of 10.5mm, the heatsink-equipped Fury Renegade can be squeezed into a Sony PlayStation 5's open M2 slot with less than a millimeter to spare. Number 4. ADPG GAMIX S70 Blade. The ADPG GAMIX S70 Blade starts at $159.99 for the 1TB model, $329.99 for the 2TB tested. An internal PCI Express 4.0 solid-state drive has amazingly fast throughput as measured by its sequential read and write speeds. It forgoes the bulky, finned heatsink of many high-performance SSDs for a thin but seemingly effective aluminum heat spreader that lets it fit in PS5s as well as laptops. With goodies like a solid software suite and 256-bit AES hardware-based encryption, it's a clear PC Mag editor's choice pick. As befitting its moniker, the S70 Blade is thin for a high-performance internal SSD. Its heatsink is an aluminum-based strip, unlike the finned behemoths that frequently come with high-performance PCIe 4.0 SSDs, including Adata's own XPG GAMIX S70. It is about as thick as a thin sheet of cardboard, the thickness of a typical heat spreader of the kind that comes with many internal SSDs intended for laptop use. The S70 Blade can be used with laptops as well as for expanding the storage on the Sony PlayStation 5. Adata is quick to point out that it meets, and in some cases, such as speed, exceeds Sony's M2 SSD requirements for PS5 compatibility. A laptop, of course, will have to be a late model AMD Ryzen or 11th generation Intel Core model with 4.0 bus support to see the full speed benefit. Most non-leading edge laptops will be PCIe 3.0 capable only. The Adata XPG GAMIX S70 Blade is a 4-lane PCIe 4.0 drive manufactured on an M2 Type 2280 80mm long gumstick PCB. It employs the NVMe 1.4 protocol over the PCIe 4.0 bus, features an InnoGrit IG2536 controller, and is rated to hit a maximum throughput of 7,400 MB read and 6,800 MB. The speed ratings are the same for both the 1TB model and the 2TB version we tested. The drive is based on Micron's 176-layer TLC vNAND flash. Check out our SSD dejargonizer to make sense of all this lingo if need be. Number 3, WD Black SN850 SSD for PS5. The SN850P doesn't feel like a genuine predecessor to the SN850 and SN850X. In fact, it performs slightly worse and costs more money. It's still a wholly viable SSD that will give you decent load times when gaming, but it's a testament to how good WD's products are that I'm disappointed the SN850P isn't faster than what we've seen before. The WD Black SN850P is a bit of an odd device to review. We've already done thorough testing of the SN850 and SN850X, its two predecessors, and we didn't add the more recent X to our best SSD for gaming buying guides until recently. We saw a marginal increase in performance from the SN850, and we didn't deem the difference in price immediately worth it. The original SN850 still performs very well for a Gen 4 SSD, and part of me thinks the only reason we've seen two sequels to it in as many years is that SSDs are still in a sustained price slump. The SN850 and SN850X are both available with and without pre-attached heatsinks, meaning they're versatile as PS5 SSDs, and SSDs for PC gamers. The SN850P, at the time of writing, is not available without the heatsink, and while it can be used in a gaming PC, there are plenty of motherboards that make life harder for people when heatsinks come pre-attached. Like I said in a feature a few months back, new Gen 5 SSDs hitting the shelves, as well as new iterations of Gen 4 drives, are the only thing allowing big storage brands to lift prices at the moment, and that's how I'd explain the emergence of the SN850P. Launching with official PlayStation licensing within the same week as the WD Black C50 expansion card, it's as though Western Digital is desperate to remind console gamers that it's still a PlayStation stan, and it's using that as an excuse to scratch back some more profits. Number 2. Samsung 950 Pro. Samsung has taken the fight to WD by not only offering a 4TB model, but also offering it in a single-sided form factor to make it a better fit for laptops and the PS5. It's the fastest 4TB drive we've tested, reigning until that capacity becomes more common with PCIe 5.0 SSDs. We're starting to see some great 4TB drives come to market, but what about Samsung? Well, the 4TB model promised at the 990 Pro's launch is finally here. A sleek high-performance SSD is at the top of every enthusiast's list, and you no longer have to settle for 2TB per M2 slot. Got a powerful laptop for on-the-go content creation? The 9090 Pro will fit in that too, with its cutting-edge single-sided design. Add in Samsung's gold standard software and support, and you can get 4TB of high-end performance in one nice package. Did we mention you can get it with a heatsink too? The 4TB 990 Pro comes on the heels of some exciting, capacious drives with YMTC flash from China. Potential controversy aside, these drives have made big waves with great performance and power efficiency. They've also proven to be inexpensive, and on top of that, single-sided even at 4TB while using superior TLC flash. Samsung answered this easily with a more powerful drive with DRAM that uses its newer V8 TLC, which, despite the layout restricting the drive to just 2 NAND packages, remains single-sided at 4TB. WD did not achieve this with its SN85X. For that matter, WD omitted its heatsink option at that capacity while Samsung maintained its own. However, not all has been bright, as Samsung's reputation was sullied earlier this year by problems with several of its SSDs, including the 990 Pro. These issues were largely later fixed with firmware updates, but not before Puget Systems stated it was switching to Sabrent. Number 1. Seagate FireCuda 530. Seagate's 4TB FireCuda 530 is similar to the 2TB variant and dominates the Samsung 980 Pro and WD Black SN850 in most of our tests, especially during sustained write workloads. As a result, Seagate's FireCuda 530 takes the crown as the fastest M2 SSD available. Seagate's FireCuda 530 will burn through workloads, but will just as likely set your wallet ablaze at checkout. This lightning-quick PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD delivers some of the best performance we've seen, but at roughly twice the price of an average NVMe SSD. The FireCuda 530 is a premium device for built professionals, rather than the average gamer. We've been eagerly awaiting retail SSDs with Micron's 176L TLC replacement gate flash, ever since we took a close look at a Phison PS5D18 E18-based engineering sample paired with it. After seeing that promising performance, we couldn't wait to see a retail product. While our recent review of Crucial's P5 Plus gave us another perspective on this new flash with a different controller, it was apparent that to truly unlock the potential of Micron's new flash, Phison's E18 NVMe SSD controller was needed. Today we look at the Seagate FireCuda 530 to gain even more perspective on Micron's new flash. The FireCuda 530 is closely based on the same components and layout as the FiSon engineering sample. But there is a difference beyond just the sticker over top of the hardware and optional heatsink SKU. Seagate's FireCuda 530 features Seagate-validated, final production firmware as well as production-grade flash rated for 3000 program erase cycles, not the early sample-grade flash that our sample had rated at just half the PE cycles. Also, unexpectedly, the FireCuda 530 reports flash interface speeds clocking just 1200 MTPs, matching that of other E18-based SSDs paired with Micron's 96L floating gate TLC rather than our engineering sample that ran at the full 1600 MTPs capability.